Exposed my golden boy brother's dark secrets after he cheated on my best friend. He ruined my life trying to hide it. Now he's disowned and left at the altar. I'm a 26-year-old woman, and I have an older brother who's 3 years ahead of me. In our family, he's always been the golden child, and honestly, I can kind of see why. He's not just smart, he's a neurosurgeon working at one of the top hospitals in the state. Naturally, my parents are over the moon about him and will gush about his achievements every chance they get, even when it makes zero sense in the conversation. They'll steer it toward him somehow. They're just that obsessed. Compared to that, I guess I don't shine as bright in their eyes. I work in advertising, it's a good job, pays well, and I built a comfortable life for myself. But let's be real, when your sibling is slicing open brains and saving lives, nobody's bragging about clever ad campaigns. My parents have always leaned into his success, and it's like they'd rather hype him up than even acknowledge what I do. And I wish I could say this was something new, but it's been like this ever since we were kids. He was always the superstar growing up, top grades, sports trophies, even a knack for painting now and then. He was that kid who could do everything well, and I was just there, stuck in the shadows. I used to be eaten up with jealousy, constantly trying to top him in anything I could, but nothing ever worked. I spent those years miserable, feeling like I didn't measure up no matter how hard I tried. It wasn't until he left for med school after high school that I finally began to feel like my own person. Without him around, I stopped trying to race him in this endless competition and started living for myself. I realized life had so much more to offer than just trying to impress people who didn't really see me. Letting go of that pressure made me a lot happier. Of course, my parents didn't see it that way. They thought I was being lazy or giving up, especially since I wasn't holed up in my room studying night and day. They ramped up the comparisons even more, probably hoping it would push me to chase him again. But their plan flopped, because once I realized I didn't have to define myself through him, I had zero interest in going back. My grades didn't even suffer that much. I just stopped torturing myself with every extracurricular and challenge just to get their attention. They didn't like that version of me, and they didn't try to hide it. It became painfully clear that they'd have preferred 2 overachievers constantly battling for gold than 2 kids simply finding joy in who they were. That's the kind of parents I ended up with. And before anyone assumes my brother tried to stop this toxic rivalry, he didn't. If anything, he fueled it. He took every opportunity to put me down, and he made sure I knew I'd always be second best. I think that's why I kept trying to beat him. I just wanted to find one thing, anything, that I was better at. I still haven't found that one thing. But now, I'm at peace with it. Back then, though, it wrecked me. He never missed a chance to rub his wins in my face, and it was like he enjoyed reminding me I'd never be enough for our parents. Growing up in that environment was pure hell, and I won't sugarcoat it, I hated him. I still do, if I'm being honest. But after we both went our separate ways, me to college, him into his doctor life, we kind of learned to play nice. Not out of love or anything, but just to keep the peace for the family's sake. By the time I left home, I had completely stopped caring about my parents' approval. I just wanted to build my own life on my own terms. I still talked to them, but more out of habit than affection. Over time, both my brother and I mellowed out a bit. We were never close, but at least we weren't constantly trying to one-up each other during holidays or family gatherings. That alone felt like a huge improvement. But our parents? They didn't change one bit. They still sang his praises like he walked on water, and when they talked about me, it was like I barely existed. It was exhausting. But if I ever called them out on it, I just looked bitter or jealous, so I stayed quiet. I tried to tune them out when they started going off about how amazing he was, just to keep the peace. The truth is, I could have said plenty. I had the kind of dirt that would have shut them up for good. But I kept my mouth shut, not because I was scared, but because starting that kind of fire didn't seem worth it. I had no interest in blowing up the whole family. That said, the secrets I've kept could seriously mess with their lives if I ever chose to speak. Take my brother, for example. Back in high school, he was caught up in a scandal that never saw the light of day outside our town. He'd been stalking this girl who turned him down, like, 4 months. Eventually, she cracked and told her dad, who pressed charges because my brother had also been harassing her online, threatening to sabotage her college application if she didn't go out with him. My parents managed to bury the whole thing thanks to their connections. It never made it into the news, but everyone in school knew. It only faded because there were always other dramas popping up. But I never forgot. On top of everything else, my brother also went through a short-lived addiction to painkillers during his residency. It happened around the time he fractured his ankle, and let me tell you, my parents pulled every string they could to bury the whole thing. They were so determined to protect his image that they made sure no one ever found out. And honestly, they succeeded. Everyone seems to have forgotten it even happened, except for me, of course. It's just always been assumed that I'd never breathe a word of it. But it's not just him. I know things about my parents too, things they would absolutely hate to have dragged out into the light. For example, my dad had an affair with his secretary years ago. She was barely 22 at the time, and he was pushing 50. When my mom found out, she was furious and threatened to leave him if he didn't fire her immediately. So he did. But the fallout didn't end there. He had to pay the girl a big chunk of hush money and get her to sign an NDA, just to keep her quiet. If word had gotten out, his company could have faced serious legal trouble. So yeah, they all have skeletons in their closets, and I know every last one of them. But despite knowing all that, I stayed quiet. Not because I was afraid. I just didn't see the point in tearing down my entire family when I could avoid the drama. Looking back, it was probably naive of them to treat me the way they did, considering how much damaging information I was sitting on. But things eventually came to a head because my brother? He really is a horrible human being. A few years ago, I had just moved into a bigger apartment and threw a housewarming party. A friend of mine, someone I'd gotten close to at my old job, was there. We had a good friendship, so I was a little stunned when I found out later that my brother had asked her out at my party. I was instantly skeptical. I warned her about him, tried to be honest, told her he wasn't exactly a stand-up guy, especially with women. But she was clearly into him, and nothing I said made a difference. Surprisingly, their relationship seemed to go well for a while. They stayed together for nearly 4 years and even got engaged earlier this year. My friend and I remained close despite my rocky relationship with my brother. She seemed truly happy with him, and from everything she told me, he sounded like a changed man. She always painted him in the best possible light, like he was thoughtful, loyal, mature. I started to think maybe I had judged him too harshly and that he really was growing up for her sake. Then, about 12 days ago, I found out the truth. My brother had been cheating on her. And not just a one-night mistake, he'd been having a full-blown affair with a coworker for 2 entire years. They met up secretly and kept their relationship going behind my friend's back. He even told this other woman that he planned to leave my friend and be with her. But when he got engaged, his coworker realized he'd just been stringing her along. She ended things a few days later, disgusted with the whole situation. But here's the kicker, he kept trying to pursue her even after the engagement. He invited her to private places, hoping she'd keep seeing him. She was so grossed out by how shameless he was that she decided to do something before quitting her job. She was about to move on to a new opportunity and wanted to expose him one last time. She didn't want to go to our parents, she knew they worshipped the ground he walked on. And she couldn't bring herself to confront my friend directly, the guilt was too heavy. So, she reached out to me instead. She knew we weren't exactly buddy-buddy, and she sent me all the proof I needed, screenshots, messages, the whole thing. She told me I could do whatever I wanted with it, that it was up to me whether or not I said anything. Then she blocked me on every platform. I couldn't even respond if I wanted to. But it didn't matter. I had everything I needed right in front of me. It didn't take much thought, I knew I had to tell my friend. She was sweet, trusting, and didn't deserve to be played like this. Deep down, I'd always felt something about the way she described my brother was too perfect to be real. Turns out, it was. Breaking the news wasn't something I looked forward to. Nobody enjoys being the bearer of awful news, especially when you know it could wreck someone's heart. But someone had to tell her. It sure wasn't going to be my brother or the woman he cheated with. So that left me. I knew I was risking our friendship, there was a chance she'd be so hurt that she'd shut me out too. But I had to believe that doing the right thing mattered more. My brother had cheated once, and there was nothing stopping him from doing it again. If not with this woman, then someone else. And he'd never leave my friend, guys like him just want to have it all. After mulling it over for a couple of days, I invited her over for lunch. I wanted to break the news as gently as I could. But no matter how carefully you deliver a message like that, it still cuts deep. I sat her down, showed her the screenshots, and told her everything the coworker had told me. At first, she just stared at me in disbelief. She kept shaking her head, saying there had to be some kind of misunderstanding. She insisted that my brother loved her and would never do something like that. But I had to be blunt, I told her it was real, and that I was sorry. Then she broke down completely. I don't think I've ever seen someone cry like that. It was the kind of grief that comes from realizing the person you love never really existed in the way you thought they did. Watching her fall apart like that broke my heart. She was one of my closest friends, and seeing her so shattered by what my brother did, it made me hate him even more. I tried my best to comfort her, told her I'd always be there if she needed someone to talk to, that all she had to do was pick up the phone. After that, she went home to confront him when he returned from work. This was just a week ago, and keep in mind, the wedding was less than a month away. The timing couldn't have been worse. I figured she'd call me afterward, maybe just to talk or let me know how it went. But that call never came. Instead, I suddenly found myself blocked on all her social media. She just vanished from my online life without warning. I was stunned. I truly believed I had done her a favor by telling her the truth, and now she was cutting me off like I was the enemy. I tried reaching out using alternate accounts for a couple of days, thinking maybe it was a mistake or that she just needed space. But every account I made got blocked too. She refused to answer my calls. And it wasn't just her, some of our relatives started blocking me as well. A few even reached out, accusing me of trying to destroy their relationship just weeks before their wedding. I had no clue what lies were being spread about me or who had been told what. But suddenly, I had no way to get through to her, my brother, or even my own parents, because they had all blocked me too. So I did the only thing I could think of. About 4 days ago, during my lunch break, I went to her workplace, our old office, to wait outside and catch her when she came out to get food, like she usually did. Sure enough, she came out heading toward a nearby restaurant, and I stopped her. I needed answers. I needed to understand why she was suddenly treating me like the villain. At first, she was just shocked to see me there. But once she composed herself, her whole demeanor changed, her face turned cold and detached, and she told me, flat out, to leave. She said she wanted nothing more to do with me. I was totally blindsided. I thought I had done the right thing, and now she was acting like I had stabbed her in the back. I wasn't about to walk away without getting some clarity, so I told her I wasn't going anywhere until she explained what the hell was going on. That's when she finally said it. She believed I had tried to ruin her relationship with my brother on purpose, because I was jealous of him. She said she now saw me for who I really was, someone who couldn't handle her brother's success or happiness. Apparently, she'd come to believe that everything I told her about the affair was part of some elaborate plan to sabotage him. She mentioned things I had never done, accusing me of starting trouble with his past girlfriends too, things I'm sure my brother fed her to turn her against me. And the worst part? She believed him. She genuinely thought I had faked those screenshots, that I had made the whole thing up to hurt him and by extension, her. It didn't matter that I had hard evidence in front of me. She didn't want to believe it, because believing it meant facing the ugly truth about the man she was about to marry. I was furious. Not just hurt, but seething. She was acting like I was some jealous loser, incapable of reaching my brother's level, and that this was just some sad, bitter stunt. It was clear she had made up her mind, and nothing I said would change that. So I gave up trying. It was her life, and if she wanted to ruin it by staying with a serial cheater, that was her choice. I walked away, devastated. I was honestly close to tears. I really believed I had done the right thing, and now I had lost a friend over it. And not just any friend, someone I had truly cared about. All because my brother lied through his teeth to protect himself, and she was too desperate to believe in the fantasy she had built around him. He told her I had fabricated the screenshots. That I had photoshopped everything, just to sabotage his relationship. And apparently, this wasn't even the first time, according to him. He told her I had done similar things to his past girlfriends, spun lies, made up stories, and pushed them to leave him. It was total garbage. But she bought it. If that's who she chose to believe, then so be it. She could have him. But I wasn't going to sit quietly while my brother tore apart my reputation and destroyed my friendship, just to cover up his own disgusting behavior. So yeah, I snapped. I did something that a lot of people are now angry at me for. I'll admit, it wasn't the most noble thing to do. I was angry, furious, actually, and I wanted payback. After everything he put me through all these years, I was done being the bigger person. I had spent my entire life swallowing my anger, convincing myself that staying quiet was somehow more mature. That letting them live in peace was the right thing. But not anymore. I decided I wasn't going to protect them anymore. I was tired of carrying the weight of all their dirty little secrets while they walked around acting like saints. I had kept quiet for the sake of family, but at this point, I just didn't care. That same evening, after confronting my friend and getting completely shut down, I was a wreck. I felt betrayed, misunderstood, and deeply hurt. So, I sat down and wrote a post. Not just any emotional outburst, this was something I planned out carefully. I made my profile public and decided to lay everything bare. Every secret I had been carrying for years about my brother, my parents, all of it was going to be out in the open. I didn't hold back. I detailed my brother's addiction to painkillers during his residency, how he stalked a girl in high school after she turned him down, and how the entire thing got swept under the rug thanks to my parents. I even exposed my father's affair with his much younger secretary and how he only cut ties with her because my mom gave him an ultimatum. But she stayed with him anyway, not out of love, but because being rich and married to a cheater felt safer to her than being single and broke. Naturally, the fallout was immediate. My family turned on me completely. People started treating me like I was radioactive, like I was the one who betrayed them instead of the other way around. But I knew exactly where this was coming from. My brother was behind it, manipulating everyone, just like always. And I was furious that he thought he could spin the narrative again and get away with it. Still, I don't regret posting it. Not one bit. Sure, people started telling me I'd gone too far, that I could ruin my brother's career, not just his marriage. But I honestly don't see how that's my responsibility. I didn't fabricate anything. I told the truth, plain and simple. If that truth destroys the fantasy image they built around themselves, that's on them, not me. I kept those secrets to myself for most of my life, and in return, they kept pushing me down, over and over. This time, I finally pushed back. A few friends and relatives who hadn't blocked me were more gentle about it. They told me they understood my anger but suggested I take the post down to minimize the damage. And while I appreciated that they didn't abandon me, I still felt strongly that the post needed to stay up. So, here's update 1. I've decided the post stays. I'm not deleting a single word. If my family didn't want their skeletons dragged into the light, maybe they should have treated me like a person instead of a punching bag. They knew I had this information and still treated me like dirt. What did they think would happen? I started questioning whether I had been too harsh until I read through the comments. So many people said they would have snapped way sooner. Honestly, they were right. Most folks wouldn't have kept those kinds of secrets for as long as I did. But I had tried so hard to be the good daughter and not blow everything up. Well, that's over now. I'm done protecting people who never once protected me. So far, no one from my family has tried to reach out. I assume they're too busy scrambling to fix their public image after everything came out. And good, let them sweat. Update 2 came just a few days later. I found out from someone that the wedding's officially off. Cancelled. And I can't lie, I was relieved. My friend hasn't contacted me yet, but just knowing she's not marrying my brother is enough. At least now she has a chance to build something real, with someone better. I did what I believed was right, and I don't regret a thing. It's been about a week and a half since I posted, and now some of those same relatives who blocked me are suddenly unblocking and messaging me. Not to apologize, of course, just to fish for more gossip. I've started blocking them now. That post wasn't about drama. It was about truth and closure. I did what I needed to do, and now I'm moving forward. Update 3, I got an email from my parents. They've officially cut me off. They're changing their will to make sure I'm not included. Apparently, I've disgraced the family one final time. Oh, and my brother? He's been placed on administrative leave, with pay, for now, because of all the rumors flying around. His career's on shaky ground, and somehow they think that's my fault. I didn't sabotage anything. I told the truth. If he wanted to protect his career, maybe he should have lived like someone with something to protect. They said a lawyer would be calling me soon to confirm I've been disinherited. As if I care. They can keep their inheritance. I've never felt like I truly belonged in that family anyway. Update 4, it's been a couple more weeks. The wedding's still off, and I've officially been cut out of the will, just got the lawyer's call a few days ago. And honestly? I feel fine. My life is good. I've got friends who actually care about me, and that's more valuable than any money they could have left behind. The most unexpected part? My friend, my brother's ex-fiancée, finally reached out. It happened yesterday. She apologized for not believing me and thanked me for trying to protect her. She said she's moving away soon, leaving everything behind. She can't stay here anymore. She just wanted to meet up one last time before she goes. I think I'll go. She's not a bad person, she just fell in love with one. And that's not her fault. I hope she finds peace wherever she's headed. She deserves happiness, and I truly mean that. As for me? I'm done carrying other people's secrets. I'm done being silent to make others comfortable. This time, I stood up for myself and I'm not looking back.